Political analyst. He joins me now live from the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. Thank you so much for being with us on the program. So Dasha just kind of rounded up Putin's comments for us there, saying that he is going to crush the enemy, meaning that he's going to crush the Ukrainian troops that are currently on Russian soil. What do you make of now Ukraine controlling 28 settlements in the Kursk region?
Yes, it's true. Ukraine occupies more than 750 square kilometers at this point. Initially, there was about 6,000 soldiers, but it looks like now it's many more than that. It's quite fascinating, and it's quite clear that Russia lacks both the capacity to prevent this from happening. Ukraine has taken, hundreds upon hundreds of Russian soldiers as prisoners of war so far. And they've also seen that there's a lack of willpower on the side of the Russians to fight, given the numbers that have surrendered without putting up any sort of a fight. And the local populations have not sought to do any sort of a resistance. So I think this problem is actually spiraling for Vladimir Putin and could present more serious stability questions for his regime.
Ukraine stated a couple of aims, saying that it aims to destabilize Russia and its military. It seems like it's taking steps towards doing that. Just give us a sense of where this is leading to. How successful are they going to be with this particular operation?
It looks like they've already been very, very successful. And as I said, the Russian side has not been able to respond to it at this point. It has not been able to move soldiers over fast enough. And the local population of Russia, just judging by what they're writing on social medias and things, are very disappointed, and they're shocked that their government is not able to provide them services simply because their own soldiers are located currently in Ukraine and so are not able to defend the people in Russia.
And what would Putin's potential response be militarily? Because I understand that, their military capabilities are in question now, but just give us a sense of what we can expect from the Russian military moving forward with Ukraine's actions not going unanswered.
Well, he will send more troops. They've already sent 2 columns down to try to fight with the Ukrainians. In both cases, the columns were destroyed pretty quickly by what appears to be ATACMS, US-made weapons, that killed between 500 and 1,000 Russian soldiers each time. They're just totally liquidated. And as a result, it would seem that he's going to continue doing that, but it's simply ineffective when you're competing with American technologies, which is simply superior.
Right, and at one point there was a lot of effort being put into bringing the two sides to the negotiating table, particularly with some groundbreaking agreements made, the grain deal in particular that was mediated by Turkey and the UN. Give us a sense of whether or not we can get back to that point where we are talking about negotiations among the two sides.
Well, I think that they will eventually get the negotiations, but at the time being, it's not in the interest of Ukraine to be involved in negotiations. To put it this way, Russia in the course of the past 2 years has gained less territory in Ukraine than Ukraine gained in Russia in the course of 2 days. To phrase it differently, if Russia were to continue advancing at the fastest it's advanced in the past 2 years in Donetsk, which is one of the regions they occupy, it would take another 7 years and 2 months to finish taking over just that one region of Ukraine, which is quite small. Russia is having a lot of failures in Ukraine. So at this point, it's a waiting game that's in the interest of Ukraine to wait a little bit longer and to keep putting pressure on Russia.
Has this kind of proven that the US's and the West's in particular military support to Ukraine has been effective?
Absolutely, it's been effective. And I think this also proves that the U.S., largely the U.S., who is worried a lot about red lines with Russia, has worried a lot about provoking Russia through escalations. This proves that fear was totally unfounded. The fact is, Ukraine is invading Russia, it's taken over territories, and the Russian government has no means, no capacity of responding to it. And so going forward, I think this should give the green light to Ukraine to be more aggressive in responding to Russia's terrorism.
All right, Jason J. Smart, live for us there in Kyiv. Thank you so much for being with us here on the NewsHour.